Just because it looks good doesn't mean it's from God. Not every open door is divine. Not every opportunity is a blessing, and not every relationship is a destiny connection. Some things are sent to promote you, some things are sent to poison you. And if you're not careful, you'll spend years investing your energy, your emotions, and your identity into something that was never even meant for you. See, the devil doesn't always come to destroy. Sometimes he just distracts you long enough for you to destroy yourself. And the worst part, you don't even realize it's happening until you're drained, burned out, and wondering how you actually got there. I know because I've been there myself. That's why today we're talking about one of the most important questions you'll ever ask. How do I know if something is really from God? Let's be honest. Satan doesn't show up looking evil. He shows up looking like the answer to your prayer. He knows what you're craving, the love, the validation, the breakthrough. And he's not stupid either. He imitates it just enough to look holy. 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14 says, Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. He's not trying to scare you off. He's trying to keep you around long enough to waste your time and delay your calling. That's his goal. Get you attached to the wrong person, obsessed with the wrong opportunity, emotionally dependent on the wrong environment. Because if he can't take your soul, he'll take your schedule. And that's honestly more than enough to derail your destiny. I've walked through doors that had success written all over them, but when I got inside, the peace disappeared. I've been in relationships that made sense on paper, but they slowly drained my joy and pulled me away from who I was becoming. And that's when I realized you can't base your decisions on appearance, emotions, or pressure. You need discernment. You need to know what carries God's fingerprint and what's just a clever counterfeit. And sometimes the counterfeit seems more exciting because it's louder, it's faster, it gives you attention. But what's truly from God, it gives you peace, gives you clarity, and it gives you rest. So how do you know? Here's what I've learned through pain, through mistakes, and some through real heartbreak. Number one, it won't bring confusion. 1 Corinthians 14 verse 33 says, God is not the author of confusion. If you're constantly anxious, guessing, and losing sleep over it, that's not God. Peace doesn't mean it's always easy, but it does mean your spirit is settled, not spinning. Number two, it won't feel rushed or forced. God doesn't pressure you into fear-based decisions. When I left my 9-to-5 job with no backup plan, I had zero assurance, but I didn't panic. I had peace because God's blessings flow, they don't force. Number three, it won't steal your joy. Even in hard seasons, there's this quiet confidence that doesn't leave. When I left my job with no guaranteed income, no clear plan, joy never left me. Not the surface kind, the deep soul level kind that says, God's got me. Number four, it won't make you question your worth. Before I met my wife, I was in situationships where I constantly felt like I had to prove my value. But when I met her, it just made sense. I didn't have to hustle for love. I was already enough. And then number five, you won't have to chase it. When something's from God, you don't beg for it. You don't force it to stay. You walk through the door knowing He opened it on time and for a purpose. This is where a lot of people fall off because not everything that looks good is from God. Some relationships sound spiritual, quote scripture, and play worship music, but the fruit is still rotten. And deep down, you feel it. You've been ignoring the red flags. You keep saying, God must be testing me. But sometimes He's not testing you. He's just trying to protect you. I've been in situationships that looked amazing to everyone else, but I was slowly lowering my standards to keep it alive. Little compromises, silent anxiety, a growing sense of this just doesn't feel right. And eventually, I had to face the truth. God wasn't closing the door to punish me. He was closing it to protect me. Sometimes God's no hurts. Sometimes the unanswered prayer feels cruel. But I promise you, it's not rejection, it's redirection. When I left university, when I stepped away from the safety of a job, when I took risks no one understood, people called me crazy, but they didn't see the peace I had in private. God wasn't calling me to be comfortable, He was calling me to be courageous. And now I'm living in the fruit of that obedience. A wife who brings me peace, a purpose that fulfills me, a business that glorifies God. And guess what? I didn't have to force any of it. I just had to follow the peace. If you're standing at a crossroad right now, unsure whether to hold on or to let go, ask yourself these three questions. Does this deepen my peace or steal it? Does this grow my faith or shrink it? Does this make me more like Christ or more like the world? If the answer isn't crystal clear, you already have your answer, because what God sends will never drain your spirit, confuse your mind, or cheapen your soul. It will lift you, strengthen you, and anchor you in truth. So if you're ready to stop guessing, if you want clarity, you want peace, and a mindset built on truth, I'd love to help you build that foundation. So apply for my coaching at timoncrick.com. Let's walk through this journey together, because real blessings don't have to be chased. They will find you when you're prepared for them. Not everything good is godly, but when it's really from Him, you will know.